Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Coriander, Killian, and our special guest, Gorephobe, in the house, in the zone. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Happy 4th of July.
Hey,
And
yeah.
yeah, same to you.
Yeah, man. All right. All right. So tonight, we're going to be starting our little review, retrospective, celebration, call it what you will, on Fulci's Gates of Hell trilogy, starting with City of the Living Dead from 1980. This is going to be interesting, and I'm glad we get a chance to talk about this. Real quick, as we always do, let's do a quick take for you guys on what you think of the movie, what pops into your mind right off the bat. I'll start with you, Coriander, and then Killian, and then we'll go to Gore.
If you like gore and you like zombies, this is one that's right up your alley. It's a great zombie movie. Yep.
All right. Okay. All right, Kill.
Gore, teleporting zombies, being buried alive. Evil, scary towns. I mean, it's got all the major food groups.
Right. Okay. How about you, Gore?
I think Fulci is an acquired taste. You either like him or you don't, and I do quite a bit. So
I hear you. I hear you. And by the way, and Kill, this was your first time watching this all the way through, or
Yeah. Hmm.
okay? So that
Yeah.
this is cool. This is kind of
Yeah.
cool, man. All right, real quick in the chat before we get going on this thing, we got Patrick who's saying happy fourth night, Coriander, Killian, and Jerry. Jerry,
Happy 4th.
right?
Yeah.
We got Death Central saying, "Yo, I'm at work, and you'll be my entertainment while I finish." All right, man. All right,
Nice.
nice to have you in the chat.
Cool.
Let's see. We got Drake. Drake saying, "Happy Fourth, everyone. Happy Fourth to you too, man."
Yeah.
Let's see. Patrick saying, "Fulci, master of Italian gore. Ain't that the truth, man?
Yep.
Ain't that the truth?" Let's see. We got Biffer. Biffer's in the chat saying, "Hey, gang, what's up, man?"
Hey.
Hello.
well,
And Patrick saying the Beyond has the weirdest ending. Oh yeah, man! I can't wait till we get to the Beyond. It's gonna be something.
This ending
Uh,
was a little weird, also, if you ask me.
right? Ain't that the? Oh my God! I
Yeah.
can't wait. We got
Right.
Dan, Mr. Dan and Har in chat saying, "What's up, everyone? What's up? What's up,
Hey.
man?"
well,
And Gore, Patrick says, "Gore holding it down in the zone."
just
Nice.
figured I'd go on a vacation.
Eric is in the chat. What's up, Eric? Saying, I've only seen one Fulci movie and it was The Beyond. Really creepy. Also, thanks for showing up last night. Night. Absolutely, man. That's right, Eric. Frenzy, the two bearded losers are back in action. And they're so cool, man. It was great seeing those guys
Nice.
together. Let's see. Eric saying, I keep getting told I need to watch more Fulci, especially Zombie. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely. We got Qwin in the chat as well saying, hello, Night Watch and fellow serial killers. Yes. All right, man. Okay, guys. So let's start talking about some high points in this movie. Coriander, I'm gonna start with you because you obviously have seen this movie quite a few times over the years, and then we'll go to Killian, and then we'll go to Gore. So just give me an idea on the movie or the starting points of the story or anything you'd like to chat about.
I like how the story begins. You have a clergyman who, commits suicide and opens well, this isn't quite how it ends, but this is how, because it starts off with the seance. But I
Mm,
like how you find out, that this priest hangs himself and he opens the seven gates of hell.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So is it
Absolutely.
seven? I can't remember if it's seven, but anyway, he does open the gates of hell.
Right.
But yeah, and it's just so good. And the beginning, yeah, I mean, they're in a seance, and the
Mm-hmm.
chick like almost gets like scared to death, but it's almost like I don't know how. they think she died, but she didn't, and she gets
Mhm.
buried
Yeah.
alive. And that's a crazy scene. And Christopher George, I'm a Christopher George fan, and he's in this
Mhm.
movie, so yeah, that's pretty cool
Absolutely.
too.
And just to also say, we got Phil's creepy videos in the chat saying Gates of Hell
Oh,
is a favorite of mine. Great Fulci. Absolutely,
yeah.
man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Phil.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of weird things with the plot, and we'll definitely get into some of those ins and outs. It makes it a very interesting conversation. But let me get to you, Killian. First time watching this thing, man. What were you thinking in the beginning? Obviously, like Coriander was saying, we got the seance with Catriona McCall, who stars as Mary Woodhouse. What were you thinking as far as all that was concerned?
Well, it was interesting, the I guess the flow of this
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Yeah.
Um, some people might feel it's a little disjointed or just
Mm-hmm.
different than, I guess, American horror movies of the time in the 80s. And you can kind of take that or leave it. I mean, obviously it's an Italian horror film.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I definitely enjoyed the opening seance scene because it kind of sets the whole stage for everything.
Right.
And and I would be remiss if I didn't say this, but you know, you ever heard the saying, "Hey man, it's gonna scare you to death," or "Hey dude, that's so nasty, I'm gonna puke my guts out." Well,
Yeah.
this movie has both of those visually for you, which
Yeah, it
I
does.
found very interesting. Um,
Right.
and the gore is top notch. It was over the top, in your face, and
Yeah.
disgusting the way gore should be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to jump too ahead of myself and everything, but it was very interesting seeing the two kind of storylines going on.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that was going on in Dunwich and the investigator and so forth trying to get to Dunwich to find the I guess
Cemetery.
the cemetery where the priest hung himself. So.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. How about you, Gore? I mean, what were you thinking, as this thing started off? And obviously, I know you're a fan of Catriona. What were you thinking?
Well, just like Killian said, when you're talking about Fulci, you might throw up your guts, you might throw up your liver, it might be your spleen. It could be about anything.
Yeah.
But the first thing that grabbed me is the cast, how interesting they are. Um, like I said, you got one of my favorites, Catriona McCall. You got Christopher George, of course, from Pieces and many other movies.
Hmm.
Husband to Linda Day George, and I love that line. Um, and then I don't know if you noticed or not, but you've also got the guy. I don't know if you've ever seen House at the by the edge of the park with David Hess.
Yes.
That guy plays Bob. He's the guy, the poor unfortunate victim of the.
The
So
The
drill.
yeah,
drill.
you're right. Well, just in case no one's seen it, is this spoiler or no spoiler?
We're gonna be going into spoilers. We'll be going
No
to, I mean,
spoiler.
not super detailed,
All
but
right.
yeah, we're gonna be going into spoilers.
And for someone who's known for not having exactly top-notch effects, sometimes
Hmm.
that drill looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
absolutely. I
certainly did.
agree. Yeah, it
Mhm.
did. It really, really did.
There was a
Real.
lot of good gore scenes in this. A lot.
Oh, absolutely. No, there's no doubt
Hmm.
about that. Real quick too, in the chat, Q is saying the zombie eyeball scene I passed, and this movie too. Much chalky white people for me. Patrick says, "Where are Paul Bettany and Kevin Durant when you need them?"
Oh, no.
Right. Patrick saying, "Gore is on point." Yes,
Yep.
yes. Phil says, "The Beyond will always be my all-time favorite Fulci." I hear you, man.
Nice.
I hear you. But yeah, man, this movie, it began, um, again, it was just really a lot of things going on, and I said this to Coriander. It's like, wow, this is just so different. As soon as the
Mm.
movie started, and you start to hear the musical score, and just the way that it was shot, I was just like, wow, this is so cool. It just, I guess, it just kind of takes you to another place, and you can really tell that it has a different rhythm, and that's true of a lot of Italian horror. And I know, obviously, Coriander, you've watched a lot, but did you feel that too, Coriander? Like it just has a different rhythm, it's just
Oh,
different.
most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
All of his
that's how I felt.
movies are, yeah.
Right,
They're their own flavor, and it's just like Gore said, you either like them or you don't. So,
right,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And also, Coriander, as we get further into the story, I mean, once we find out this whole thing, uh, from the whole seance scene with Medium Teresa, and they're talking about this 4,000 year prophecy with the book of Enoch and all that type of stuff. What were you thinking of all that setup? Because that was fascinating to me. It just had a lot of story that was involved
It
with it.
it certainly did. It
Yeah,
you know, it did have a lot of story. That's
yeah.
I
And
do
not
agree.
not all of it was connecting though, because the first thing I was thinking was, in the beginning when we see the father, I think it's Father Thomas, um,
Mhm.
hang himself. And I was thinking to myself, well, what was special about this particular priest to open up the gates? Just little
He
things
must
like
have
that
done
was.
something. Yeah, he had to have done something pretty damn bad to, maybe
Yes,
he turned to black magic or something. Because look how
I was
evil
wondering
he
that
was.
too. Yes, I
Yeah,
was
he
wondering
was.
that too.
There was, yeah, there was definitely something not right with him. So, yeah.
Absolutely. How about you, Kill? I mean, obviously, plot points aside, we see that Mary is scared to death. And then we kind of move down the road in the story a little bit. We get introduced to Coriander's favorite, Christopher George, as the journalist, Bell, Peter Bell. What were you thinking about him, and obviously how he comes upon joining up with Mary?
Well, it's interesting. He kind of plays that uh, typical kind of newsman,
Yes.
kind of fast talking, kind of just lingering around. And you got the guys in the cemetery. They're taking their break and they're trying to do their job. And they're like, "Hey, man, what's your deal?" He's like, "Oh,
Hmm.
nothing. I'm just hanging out." And
Absolutely.
and he's trying to pump them for information and so forth. And and it's funny, and maybe I shouldn't have been laughing, but like when she starts screaming, the look on their faces, or like at least his face, is like, "Well, oh, that's nothing." And like you're sitting there and you hear someone screaming, and it's like, "Oh, maybe there's someone buried there. Let me take this sharp
Yes.
tool and
Yeah,
just
man.
blast into this wood. Hopefully, I won't kill her. Kill her again, or finish the job." And I actually was like laughing. I'm like, really, dude? Like, no
Right.
subtlety, just oh, hey, someone's down there, with this full strength.
Yes, I know. That's what I was thinking too. Absolutely. Also in the chat, Phil was saying, everyone in the chat, make sure to connect to Goreful. Let's support up and coming YouTubers. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Which, and everyone that's in the chat, especially for you guys that have been around, that should almost be, an immediate thing to do, especially anytime we have a guest on. If we have a guest on, it's definitely someone that you would enjoy as well. And Phil, don't forget to smash the like button. Yeah, exactly, man. Kewan says, yeah, the Lost Pages of Enoch was terrifying because I read the real book and they got a lot right. Wow, man. Holy
Mm.
crap.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
Patrick said Christopher George had a decent horror legacy. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Gore. So, obviously, as as Killian was talking about the amazing coffin saving scene. What were you thinking about that scene? Because I know you've seen this movie, quite a bit.
I was noticing, first of all, you wake up and the first thing that's happening is a pickaxe is going right in your face,
Yeah.
and she's already waking up wondering why she's alive, is she
Yes.
dead or whatever. And then he seems to aim it directly at her face every single time.
Yes.
So it's like, uh, which was very cool. I'm glad it didn't hit her though. I mean, I'm not.
Right.
it would have been kind of lonely without her. But I don't know. Back to the point of not really knowing what's going on. You may see this movie 10 or 15 times, and you trust me, you'll still be sitting there going, "What happened?" It'll be over to be like, "Well, I still don't know what it's about."
Right.
With Fulci, unlike Argento and them, it's more of what happens, not why.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've learned about Italian horror, especially when you come to Fulci. Fulci, if Fulci was to do movies like 20 years later, as far as gore and just the way he did stuff, it'd probably be Hostile or something like that. You know,
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Absolutely. That's a good point too, because it's more like you just have to watch it and just enjoy it. You
what would he
know,
have done with
just
more money?
yeah, exactly. How about you, Coriander? Do you look at it like that too for a lot of your favorite Italian horror films? It's more about just enjoying the ride.
Yeah. I mean, you always get good gore, good effects, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're just enjoyable. I've
Mm-hmm.
always, I don't enjoy all of them, but because there's some that are just crazy, like crazy. But and I'm not just talking about like Fulci movies. I'm talking like other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, they're enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Kill. Once we get to the point where Christopher George and Catriona are together, and they're pretty much on this mission, like you said, to get to the cemetery for the final resting place of the priest, Father Thomas. What do you think about their relationship? I mean, at that point in the movie, what was going through your mind since it was a first viewing for you?
To me, it's definitely seemed like they had some good chemistry. I mean, they both were kind of on a mission, sort of
Mm-hmm.
say, to kind of figure this thing out and figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of the dynamic shifted a little bit, kind of to like a buddy film a little bit for me, like a little buddy road trip, even though it was a brief road trip.
Yeah,
But
right.
you know, and once again, I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler. Didn't see him getting aced out as quick as he did, but once they kind of got together.
Yes, yes. Now, and Gore, I'll throw it to you. Now, we haven't talked yet about the psychiatrist and obviously his part in the movie too. Would you think about him as a character? Because obviously he joins in on this thing too later on, about halfway through the movie.
Well, I didn't expect him to even become a character the first time I ever seen it because I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be him and his girl. Instead, his girl gets wiped out relatively quickly, and
Yes.
then and then I don't know. It doesn't really seem to bother him all that much, really. I don't know. He's all right. I don't know. I could do with or without him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
But
the dynamics really between Christopher George and Catriona McCall because
yeah.
I don't know. They just seem to have. And there's a time in there where almost, except for nothing goes on, it kind of almost reminds me of the road trip on Halloween 3. I don't know if it struck
Oh,
anybody else like that, but when they're taking off, it almost reminds me of that.
that is a good point. Absolutely. I agree with that. It did kind of feel like that.
Except for I think Catriona could do better than Christopher George, though.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I don't think so.
Right. How about you, Coriander? Like, did you think of it too, like almost like a buddy movie? They're on this mission to try to get to the cemetery and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, obviously they want to
Hmm.
close the gate.
Yeah.
So they're doing whatever they have to do it because once this gate is open, it's like that's pretty much like the end, man. So yeah.
Right. And they just have a few days because supposedly it's supposed to
Yeah.
happen on All Saints Day, and so that
Hmm.
kind of added a little bit of extra urgency to it. But again, and again, we're talking about some plot things too. But it was kind of like, well, wait a minute, but it already happened, So I was kind of like, what?
Yeah.
But anyways, what were you gonna say, Coriander?
Oh no, I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay, yeah. But Kill, take me
Mhm.
through. what else we got going on? Once all four of the main characters are together, because we've got the psychiatrist, we got Catriona, we got Christopher George, and we've got the psychiatrist, his
Boy.
patient. Yeah, and the boy too. Yeah. What were you thinking at that point?
Well, I mean, other than people getting the backs of their heads ripped ripped open.
Brain.
Didn't see that coming. I was like, okay, that's all right. I like that. There was one other, and I'm sorry if I'm talking about the kills, but I love the gore. The young guy visiting the girl, and he was like taking a nap in her dad's car.
Yeah.
And the dad, once again, to have like cliche things that we say, and this movie actually does them. Man, if I see your boyfriend again, I'm gonna kill him. So like, I mean, he just grabs this poor kid, and I'm watching. I'm like, all right, where is the drill gonna go in? Is it gonna go into his eye, his cheek, the temple?
Yeah.
Very, very well done, and awesome. But to answer your question, when all four of them get together, they're kind of, in a way, kind of comparing notes on what's going on a little bit.
Yes.
Like, oh, well, what do you know about this priest? Well, what do you know about this priest?
Right.
And we gotta, we gotta figure this out. And sort of like what Gore was saying as far as Fulci, and it seems like he's not going to explain everything to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, American cinema, sometimes we hate that. Sometimes we want to be force fed everything. Me personally, I don't always like that. I like to use my own imagination, kind of come to my own conclusions. And a lot of that was going on in this. So like Gore was saying, you're either going to really like this or you're going to hate it. And I can't lie. At first I was like, what is going on? I'm not sure if I'm feeling this, but then I was like, all right, let me just, turn my brain off a little bit and just go along for the ride. And it's a damn good ride and enjoyable.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. And also one of the other scenes that was really, really rough, and I'll put it to you, Gore. When you have Daniela Doria playing Rosie, that particular scene was kind of rough. What'd you think of that scene? How they did it with the practical effects?
I was actually pretty impressed with that, because I think they got something coming from the sides over here, but I mean, it looked really good. It looked like she welled up and started crying blood. I thought that was pretty good. And how about this poor Bob kid? Can this guy find a friend anywhere? I mean, everywhere this guy goes, you got people in the bar going, I hate this kid, I'm gonna do this and that to him. So where does he go? He goes to the girl's dad's house where the drill is.
Yes, yes, absolutely, man.
I think he was just tired of it. He was like, hell, no, I'm just gonna end it. I'll go to the crazy dad's house.
Yeah, let me take my chances. Let's see, we got David's Horrors in the chat saying, happy 4th, gang. What's going on, man? Happy 4th to you too, man.
Right.
And David saying, hey, Gore. All right. Hey. Nice. And Coriander, also with the scene with the regurgitation. I mean, what'd you think of that? That was a pretty gory, scene as well, man. It was rough.
Yeah, she was spewing her guts, and you could tell. I mean, it just kept coming and coming. Yeah. It was great. I mean, this dude is trouble. He's bad news. You see this priest, you're fucked, because oh my God.
Right.
Look at what happens to everybody. You bleed from your eyes, you puke up your guts. I mean, shit.
That scene was crazy too, man. And Daniela, she swallowed and regurgitated a plate of tripe. A fake head was used with a pump to spew out the organs and all of that type of stuff to be more forceful. I mean, it was a gross scene. Kill. That was the first time you saw that scene. How was it for you?
I loved it. I mean, and one thing I can say, like intestines and your guts, if you were to lay those out, they're pretty long. So it was a little accurate with the length of how long she was doing.
Yes.
And I didn't see it coming, but then I couldn't turn away. I
were
couldn't
Right?
clean.
turn away.
They were clean entrails.
Nice.
They were very clean entrails. You notice how white they were? That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
She eats well.
They
yeah,
washed them and then they regurgitated, you know.
I think I read it was or coriander. Did you know? Was it lambs in trail? It was something that they used. I
I'm not
can't remember.
sure. I'm not
Yeah,
sure about that.
but
I knew
but
they tried
yeah,
to make, but
yeah,
yeah.
it was something like that. But crazy
They were
stuff,
real.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And also we got to talk about the maggot scene as well. That if you ever
Yeah,
get into a
man.
position where you're having a
Mhm.
windstorm of maggots coming at you, probably don't open your mouth
Right.
and don't face in towards it. I mean, like I was just like, what Coriander? I'll start with you. What'd you think of that scene? That was pretty gross, man.
That was really gross. And the fact that
Mm,
they used real maggots and like pounds
yes,
of them, that's
yes.
disgusting. Because I'm sure, you know, those guys got their protein that scene. Because, yeah, that's nasty.
It was like 22,
So,
22 pounds of real maggots. They used two
yeah.
two wind machines to blow it into the room. My
Yeah,
thing
man.
is like, gosh, man, it was getting all over them, in their hair, in their
Yeah,
ears. Like,
everywhere. They were,
oh man,
yes. You could see him. That chick was bent over and, you know, running her hands through her finger, well,
yeah,
her fingers through her hair and
yeah,
flinging those damn things everywhere. It was gross.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
Let's see. David's Horror says, I loved City of the Dead. Sorry to say, but one of the few Italian horror films that I like. Cool, man. Hey, you gotta like. Hey, if you like something, that's fine with me. Patrick says, like hacking up a fur ball.
Thank God
Nice.
Jerry doesn't do that. So I'm lucky
Yeah,
there.
right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. But okay, but so as we start to get to the end of this, when they do reach the cemetery, I'll throw it to you, Kill, and then we'll go to Gore. What were you thinking? I mean, was your expectation met, especially once they went inside of, like, I guess you could say,
The
the
crypt.
catacombs, the crypt?
I mean, yeah, like I mean, you know, they're they're kind of going into unknown territory. You know,
Mm-hmm.
zombies are coming to life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of staring contests going on. Like, oh crap, he's staring at us again. I gotta
Yes.
impale him real quick to kind of break the line
Yeah.
of sight a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess for me, you know, this portion of it, it met my expectation. As far as the ending, still a little ambiguous
Mm-hmm.
for me,
Yeah.
and maybe you guys as the experts, you know, I can't wait to hear what you guys say about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, even though you were in the crypt, unlike certain newer movies, I could see everything. I could see what was going on.
Right.
I could appreciate the gore and see the scenes, so it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't too dark. So I always appreciate being able to see the movie.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I mean, you know, the claustrophobic feeling about, you know, crawling in there. It's dark, tighter
Mm-hmm.
and tighter, little, you know, alcoves in there, and then all the while zombies are coming to life. They're digging themselves up out of the ground,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was very impressive to me.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Gore? What do you think of the finale and how
Yeah,
it
I
all?
thought it was a pretty good payoff. Except for I thought it was a little quick when they just jabbed a hole through the guy, and you know he seemed to burst into flames like a vampire.
Yeah.
Other than that, I feel like there should be a little bit better of a fight. But yeah, a little surprised that it was a psychiatrist left at the end to say Christopher George. But I guess
Yeah.
now we know why he was kept around and his girlfriend got killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Real quick too in the chat, we've got mid-level media. Ken is in the chat saying, "Hey guys, happy Sunday and 4th of July." Same to you, man.
You
Same to
too.
you. Thanks
Yeah.
so
Hey,
much. Yeah. Qin says there's some shade for Aliens versus Predator. Step outside. Step outside, okay? Yeah, yeah. But as we finish up here, I mean, the ending of it, like you were alluding to, Killian, was very ambiguous. And it was interesting, and me and Coriander, we were talking about this because at the end, once they stab Father Thomas with the stake, he bursts into flames, and then of course all the other zombies around in the crypt, they burst into flames as well. You know, it definitely had that vampire type of parallel, you know, going on a little bit. There was multiple things that had, you know, like a vampire parallel as far as, you know, like you said, Killian, the staring contest, like you're being in a trance and so forth. But once they get out and then they see the kid running towards them, and then Catriona starts yelling, like screaming, and then it fades to black. And I was like, what? What
Yeah.
happened? Now,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, from what I understand, and Coriander or Gore, you guys let me know if you know, but there was or at least is rumored to have been a different ending to it, or more of an elongated ending to kind of explain that. And I think it was something that dealt with there were still zombies or something like that. I can't remember what I had found out, but that would kind of make a
Like the
little bit more sense.
cops. Yeah, like the cops might have been zombies behind the kid.
Yeah,
That was like,
something.
yeah, yeah,
Something like that. Did you ever hear
yeah.
anything like that, Gore?
Yeah, I've heard a couple different. There's footage, just like there's footage in the one that plays here. It's it's not in like England or some in England. There was a part taken out. Like for years, the part in England of the drill was gone. They just put it back 2001. They all
Hmm.
got different names. There's no telling. I'm sure somewhere there's a lot of extra, which I would hope that there's a missing ending someplace.
Yeah, yeah. I
But with
mean,
I don't
Fulci,
think
who
there is
knows?
though.
With
hmm.
Fulci, there might not be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know, all that being said, kind of like what you said in the beginning, Kill. When I first saw it, and I was kind of like, well, wait a minute. And then after about a minute, I was like, but you know, that's kind of cool because you don't really know, you know,
Mhm.
and it does have that ambiguous vibe to it. So actually, I'm fine with it as an ending. But this movie in general, I think it was a very good movie. It had some great atmosphere. I think it had obviously a ton of wonderful gore. You know, some really gross scenes. It was cool seeing Christopher George in it, and Catriona, and kind of like what you said, Gore. It was cool to have that vibe of like in Season of the Witch. You know, when Tom
Right.
Atkins
For
and
1 minute,
Stacey,
yeah.
yeah, it was kind of cool, you know. um but it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it, and I hadn't seen it in a while. I hadn't seen it in a couple of years myself, so it was kind of like getting reacquainted with it. But I enjoyed it. I really did. And Coriander, I know you were saying you really enjoyed it too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
absolutely.
this
Um,
trio of movies.
Hmm. Cool. So
you
Killian,
got time? Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead and Killian, and then I have a fun movie fact.
okay. Kill, are you excited for the next entry, The Beyond? Because you haven't seen that, right?
No. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm definitely excited, and and now I kind of have a more informed kind of opinion and kind of know
What you
the
getting
the
into?
flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. Um, all right, and Gore, what did you have for a fun fact? Those are always cool.
Um, um, I don't know if everybody knows, but Fulci was a pipe smoker, and he always carried around a bag of tobacco.
Hmm.
Well, during the shooting, he went to reach in, and this is pretty much a well-known fact, I guess. He reached in to grab some tobacco out of the bag, and he reached in and pulled out a bunch of maggots.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And
Oh
supposedly,
no.
rumor is that Christopher George did that as payback for the maggot scene.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
But
That's a
but he can never prove it. Christopher George is like, I don't know where they came from.
right.
Maybe they just curled in there. I don't
That's awesome, man. I like that. That's awesome. All
Nice.
right, that is cool. Mr. Dan was saying the Beyond might be my favorite.
Hmm.
know. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, it's going to be interesting, guys, because obviously the idea is to talk about the Beyond, and then of course House by the Cemetery, and it, you know, obviously these movies, you know, it's a trilogy of movies, but they're not connected, you know, as far as like one movie follows the other. So just to throw that out to you, Killian, and anyone
Yeah.
else who hasn't seen it, Catriona is in each of the movies though, so she's kind of the link, you know,
Hmm.
and also the idea of the gates of hell, or one of the gates of hell being opened, and you know, trying to kind of deal with that. So that's kind of the link between the three movies. But it's really cool. It's really cool stuff. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, so that's about it for City of the Living Dead. For you guys in the chat, as we always mention, please give the video a like. That would really help out us out and support the channel. And also leaving us a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think of the movie. Let us know what you think of the other two entries and so forth. And as mentioned earlier, please do support Gorephobe on his channel. He's got a lot of cool stuff that he's putting out. It's always fun and exciting seeing people who just start out doing a channel. And you know, as everyone in this chat knows who has followed us, you know, we've only been doing it for less than a year ourselves. So yeah, it's really really cool stuff. But Gore, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It was
Thank you.
fun
Had a lot of
having you
fun.
on. Yeah, I mean, it was really fun having you on. We always enjoy having guests on. It always makes it fun to have conversation, because conversation is always what we enjoy, the discussion of the movies and so forth. So
Oh,
we
me
appreciate.
too. And I don't get a chance to do that much with many people.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And you know, that's been true of a lot of people, you know, especially within the last year and change, you know, people have definitely had a little bit less interaction in general. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this has been a fun way to connect with people and share some thoughts. David, before we're heading out, David said, I still need to see Gates. I hear you, man. I hear you. And Patrick, Patrick said July 25th. What's going on July 25th, Patrick? We'll be doing a really cool collaboration between Patrick's channel and us and Ben from Cadaver Club. So that'll be really really fun on July the 25th. And we'll definitely be putting out some information about that too. So it should be fun stuff. But anyways, guys, that'll be it for us tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, happy 4th of July. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves, being safe, enjoying the food on the grill, whatever you're choosing to do. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. And Gore, I'll let you say your tag too.
Because I am agoraphobe and you are not.
Peace out, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Peace.